reminisce about the years we spent putting the show together. For those of you who have loved and watched Seinfeld over and over, this is your chance to look back with some new insights into what went on behind the scenes, which I can tell you, nothing went on behind the scenes. That's why we had to write the scenes. For those of you who have never seen Seinfeld before, this would have to be the worst possible way to be introduced to the show.
Like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop.
Greg will later speculate with
somewhere late in the second season,
in which
I said,
Tommy's
"You're doing
character
something
is portrayed
different.
by
What is
his
it?"
best
And you
friend,
said, "They think he's the dumbest guy in the world."
Years after,
He's the smartest guy in the world.
Yeah, he used to play like he was dumber than
in the search
everybody.
for a
And then he
coherent
started playing
backstory
smarter
That you had information that these other idiots didn't get.
That's such a great choice.
We never even let him in the coffee
not
shop.
least for
We used to confine him to one little shoe-like scene.
even though Greg claims Caffrey died in 1994, 4 years before he was never
Building I lived in New
there is
York.
scant evidence that Drew
Get
Caffrey
into
ever
the building.
existed. Besides
Unless I was
Tommy's
buzzed in
praise
by
for him
somebody.
on several occasions,
And Kramer
and Caffrey's
used to buzz
vanity
me in.
credit as a producer.
So I was totally
And even
dependent
Greg
on
was very
Kramer
loyal about him, but he's
being
got enough
home,
of a paper
okay?
trail that I'd
At
say
any time of
Occam's
the day.
razor says he was
What are you talking about?
in the 1990s.
This is true.
Greg claims.
So he's not
Tommy
home
I was in
with
the
you.
building
Drew Caffrey
illegally.
owned a little stand
Okay.
Oh, I
together,
see.
You're not allowed to
plastic
sublet it. There was some rule or something.
more
And so the
yo-yos,
only way I could get in was to say that I was
Two of
visiting
them.
Kramer.
And
And
so
he wasn't
you
home.
buy the-
Then I had to go to somebody else.
tear it down,
You know, I had a
and
list
build
of
a
like
new
10 people.
four-story
but Kramer was
headquarters
always there.
But not
now
with a
known
dog.
as the Pants.
We had a dog in the house. First year we had a dog.
Yeah.
In fact, this
That
was
was
the
how
only
Kramer
have a dog.
So we could do the dog stand-up.
In the late 90s, there were several
I had a good
street
bit on
fashion
dogs,
USA
so.
locations across San
And
Francisco.
the idea in the
briefly
beginning was that
even
the
one in
stand-up
Los
was going to
Angeles.
relate to the
Plus,
scene.
at least
I
one
think my favorite dog thing is when you have to leave him in the car.
which burned down in
And he's just sitting there
1995.
in the front seat. Because the dog, see, the
Greg
dog
says
body
Tommy's sort
in the
of
car
his
seat
first movie.
is the only time that your head and
In order
his
to
head
demonstrate the
are at the same height. You know what I mean? Because they
video,
love when
which
they're
is
up there
not
in the front. They go,
available.
this is more like.
Greg
I think you and I should be
shows
together.
news footage of the farm set to a dramatic classic.
Except when they
as well
turn,
as
when you
section
turn, they can't handle the turns. You know, they got no thumbs. Take it
urges
easy.
Drew Caffrey, who is inexplicably wearing a white
Dogs
hat,
stick their heads out the
to
window.
say
They
good
love that.
things about him.
I don't know what it does for
Caffrey
them, but
supposedly
there's
died in
doubt. This is the thing.
possibly of age.
You know, when they are doing that, I don't know what they're thinking.
And that same year, Tommy began to perhaps spurred by his business partner's death, to branch out and start pursuing.
I imagined if we got picked up that I'd be in my dressing room always working with
Now, everything you just
I
heard,
felt I had to
everything
bond
since
with
the
it. It'd have to
intro,
be
comes
my
from a
dog.
single source.
Maybe I should take
Greg
the dog
Sestero's
home.
book, The Disaster Artist.
I'll really have to get
Not
into
even
this
Greg
dog.
himself is sure any of these stories
Yeah,
are
oh,
accurate.
definitely.
It's just
my
stuff
dog.
he's pieced together from the little Tommy was
I was hopeful that the Seinfeld Chronicles could actually make the fall schedule.
We've heard there are a
It was
handful of other
well received when they screened it for the executives at NBC, but then we heard the testing had come in.
The research
Greg leaves
report on
3
Seinfeld was pretty disastrous. Pilot performance,
There was a
weak.
communist.
You know, a lot of this is dead on.
His home city was heavily damaged.
George was viewed as a wimp and only
He grew up
mildly
living
amusing.
near a
Reviewers
major
said he
town.
whined. That's true.
indicating it was
People together, they're going to criticize anything. How can any reports be good?
There are 2
It's just so much easier to go to
Poland
your brilliant observation about what was wrong with the show
Both Tommy Sleuth
than
and Southern
about what you liked.
How did we get beyond this?
for a few reasons, some of which come from the Disaster Artist, while others come directly from
initially
himself.
prevailed
First, in the
upon,
Disaster Artist, Greg
Brandon
says that Tommy's
Tartikoff
squalid bus ride
to give it a chance, but they never
While the
thought
layover
we were. I don't think anybody
which is
thought
close to
that it was going to
Poland,
take
but
off.
They
a
liked
long
it, but
way
after the
across
13,
several
they still wanted
If
to,
Tommy were
they
going
wanted
to
changes.
Hungary,
They were pushing us in a particular direction.
You're kidding.
No.
What changes did they want?
They didn't like shows like the Chinese
Also,
restaurant was
much
a huge
later,
thing.
Greg
They
mentions that
hated
Tommy
that show.
chose to
They
spell
wouldn't let us
his
air it when we
name
wanted to air it.
So
Like
it's
just
a double
walking over there and taking
instead
some
of
food off of
oh.
somebody's plate.
I'll tell you what.
based on because
There's 50
long
bucks in it
before
for
he
you
was
if you do
Tommy
it.
Wiseau, he allegedly told Greg his original last name. Hungarian, which is a
What do you
weird
mean?
language unrelated to
You walk over to that table,
doesn't
you pick up an egg roll,
Whereas
you don't
Polish
say anything.
is related to a few other slightly
You
less
eat it.
Slavic languages. It's
Say thank
pretty
you very much. Wipe
And the
your
movie,
mouth.
The Room itself,
away.
contains evidence that
I
its
give you
writer,
50
director,
bucks.
and star
Should I
was
do it,
Polish.
Jerry?
There's a moment
50
towards the
bucks?
end
Put my face in this soup and alone.
Gets in a fight with a character who just showed up 2/3 of the way through the movie without any introduction and never gets a name, but is referred to in the credits.
Favorite episode, I said I don't have a favorite, but
In the
that's the one I use as a marker.
getting mad at
because of exactly
Mark spits the
what you're
following
talking about.
baffling
He really
for
wants
the
to do it. When we read it, I thought,
Your stupid comments
this is great.
In The Disaster Artist, Greg says that
And
he
we
couldn't
prevailed, and we
imagine
shot the show, and I thought, well, even if we go off the
he
air,
was only able to say it
we
with
stood for something in our
regular
time.
yeah. All the anger he had towards Tony Wiseau directly into this catastrophic.
TV show come up
But a Polish fan of the room claims this is a verbatim translation of
They
the
have
Polish
salsa on the table.
generally seen as archaic,
What do you
but
need salsa
still widely
for?
recognized.
Salsa
Try to
is now the
pronounce
number
this.
one condiment in America.
Zostav,
Do you know why?
something unwanted.
Because people like to say salsa.
Zjeszczenie. It means leave
You have any
your
salsa? We need more salsa. Where's the salsa? No
in
salsa.
your pocket.
It must be
Another
impossible
icon.
for a Spanish
And
person
I'm going to stop
to order
you now.
salsa and not get salsa.
I wanted salsa. Not salsa.
Conniving, manipulative
Salsa
Lisa.
and salsa?
Conniving and manipulative.
You have the salsa?
No,
I have the salsa.
trying to get her killed. Future husband.
What?
She takes out 2 glasses half full of an amber liquid,
Yeah.
pours vodka into each of them. Nobody gives any indication of what the amber
really
liquid
serious. I
is,
think
but
that's a good
fans believe
idea.
it's scotch. And
Just
the so-called
talking? What's the show
scotchka
about?
has become the signature
about
cocktail
nothing.
of the week. It fits with the aesthetic
Now,
of
what
the
about
room
this
as a
nothing
movie
thing?
directed by an alien
Confound
that
you
thinks it
that the
understands human behavior and culture,
quality
but not as
that
well as it believes.
bit had
Having read The
public's
Disaster
mind
Artist, I can
that
totally
the show
picture
was about
Tommy
nothing,
asking Greg on the
which
set
of
the
course
movie something along
is
the lines
ludicrous.
of this.
ludicrous and
People
impossible.
drinking alcohol.
It's a great
what
label
they
for the
drink.
style of what the show
Wine,
is.
beer,
It was about small
cocktails.
things.
Even though
What is
there were
cocktail?
solid storylines,
Well, it's when
you
you, like,
guys
mix
were
a few
cavalier
different kinds of
about going
alcohol
off
together,
story
you
to
serve it
follow
in
a
glass.
funny run.
I get it.
And oftentimes
Thank
the funny
you,
run would
Greg.
be the
He
really
proceeds to go out to a
memorable
liquor
thing of that
store and get
episode.
the
I
2
think
first
that
bottles
had
of hard alcohol
something to do
he
with the
sees,
perception of
which turn
they
out to
just
be
talk
vodka
about
and
stuff.
soda.
Right,
you know.
right.
I
So
can
you think we
picture
did that
this
more
happening,
than other
but it
sitcoms?
I think we were the only.
Well,
few
I'll
Polish
tell you
fans
that
have
the
been
constant
speculating
struggle
that the
for us
amber
was to
liquid
try
is
and
scotch.
keep
It's
those in the
apple
show
juice.
because they're
And
usually
the
the
drink
first
that
things
Lisa
to get
tries
cut
to get Joey
because they're not
drunk on is a
advancing the
cocktail
story.
of
Yeah, it was
vodka
easier to
and
do some of
apple
that tangential
which is
stuff
commonplace
in the first
where
few
else
seasons.
in Poland.
Then we
And
got
some people
the
who
show
have
got
attempted
too
to go
dense.
further down the rabbit
Well,
hole
I
than
spread
Greg
you,
have
and I
corroborated
take
the theory
full
that Tom was
responsibility
playing.
for it. When
Rick
Michael and I were not
the
in the
director of the
band,
upcoming documentary
and I came to you and I
Room Full
went,
of
"Don't
Spoons,"
ever do that."
claims to have discovered that Tommy was born in 1955
And you said, "Do you know how hard it is to write 4
which,
people?"
sure enough, is a Polish cathedral
Oh my
city
God.
that sustained
But
heavy
I said
bombing
he had
in
like
World
a
War II.
Godfather talking.
How
about, you know.
Harper found this information.
sit down.
He had like a Tony
Presumably there will
Soprano
be
thing.
further background to
Even
his
before
claim
that
Room
show
Full of
though.
Spoons
I mean
comes
that
out.
that show was an
Only
exception because you
that
were
might be
they did go
never,
to Florida.
since Tommy
There was no way to
Wiseau
get you
keeps
to the show,
suing
and I wanted to
Harper
do a
in
Florida
every
show,
way
but
he legally can to prevent them
at some
releasing
point
the
during the
Now,
second
this may
second
suggest
season,
that Room Full of Spoons really lays Tommy's past bare.
you know,
and its
I just
motivations.
realized
Tommy
that
doesn't want getting out.
I just
There's a lot
wanted
of
everybody.
anticipation
I didn't want to come
documentary
into an unhappy set.
Fan
I wanted the
service for
actors
this
to be happy. I didn't want them to get a script and look at it
so
and be
strange.
disappointed.
Tommy is
So
incredibly
remember,
jealous
so
and
we thought
incredibly
like,
guarding
yeah,
of his
we're just going to try and
I managed to find
you know,
courtroom transcripts from one of
give
Tom's
everybody
lawsuits
something
against
good to do.
Harper,
And we
in
had
defending
the
himself
horses.
against
It
charges
wasn't
of
like
libel
you were
Yeah.
you were suffering in
Harper
any
says
way.
only about 5
You know, by
minutes of
going
Room Full
to
of
one
Spoons
character or another. Every you
background.
know,
And
any
the
horse could
documentary
pull
is
the
mostly
show.
about the Brooms
What
family.
a lovely metaphor.
So it seems like Tommy is just
Thank
really
you.
angry about the revelation of that.
Maybe not the most flattering
A
to the
time and
feminine,
place that
but
aren't
to the
big
masculine.
surprises. given
Do you want to be a horse?
The next chapter
Well, I
in
remember
Tommy's life
looking at
story,
the
as
board
written
as
by
we were
Greg,
developing
is
scripts.
totally
You have the
uncorrupted.
column for this guy can this guy can
Right.
If he was
Right.
working as an illegal immigrant in Strasbourg,
And the greatest
France in
ending you
70s,
ever came up with
possibly
on
for
the fly
years,
was
although there's
in that marine biologist putting that
there,
kimono
I doubt
on.
there would be
Yeah.
any.
But how did what was the beginning of that speech? The sea was
The
what?
Red Cross
She
sponsors
was angry that day, my
the
friend.
website of the
The sea
American
was
Red
angry
Cross
that day, my
says
friends. Like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
situation that maybe young Tommy qualified. But the Red Cross explicitly says they can't help bring a family
I got about 50 feet out, and suddenly
crisis.
the great beast appeared before me.
They can help locate them.
I tell you, he was
but
10
that's
stories high and he was a foot.
So however Tommy got to the museum,
That was
it wasn't through the
and
Red
one of the
Greg
biggest
strongly
lives
suggests there was a lot of
we ever had.
That one was a huge one.
So
One
this
about the mayonnaise.
Yeah, they're all laid out.
While Tommy himself was never specifically
So I reached my hand in, felt around and pulled out the obstruction.
that he once lived in France. Also in the that if it really happened, I'm surprised it didn't get damnation.
Look at this.
Supposedly, now living in France, he was in a car with some guys.
This is a great poll here.
And they got into an accident. The car flipped upside down into a pond.
Was that a Titleist?
It was not. I went to a screening of the new report about Tommy himself.
My mother, she just bought me some new
Me and my
panties and they're
Tommy
all
cosplay.
laid out and born.
Before the show, Tommy did a Q&A with the audience where people could step up to the mic and ask him a question. Although he deflected a lot of stuff. Move on next question. I decided to confirm but I wanted to avoid reaching out. He's liable to move on next question. So when I stepped up to the mic, I asked without any Le quelques ans sur l'émission d'Howard Stern, j'ai entendu que vous avez dit que vous parlez français. C'est vrai ça? Vous voulez parler français avec
The
moi?
panties laid out.
So he
You know what was so great for me doing that is that I get to go behind the closed door and just listen to it.
Well, je parle
And I didn't have to
français,
hold for
but
it.
this is America, and we speak
I was so
English here.
proud of you for holding for
crowd
that
roared
laugh.
with
Perfect.
And
I confirmed
saying,
he
like,
speaks
you know,
English, which is something that I feel like we already learned. But if he really didn't,
You've got to laugh that big in your
that
face.
would be a
You
signal that we are
can't,
totally barking.
What I never anticipated was the I'm out.
Well, I'll tell you what's really even funnier to me than the I'm out is
But
the
he
exit.
didn't say move on
that
next
precedes it.
question. Presumably because he was so taken aback by someone speaking French.
Maybe she's a nudist.
So I decided to take the
nudist
opportunity
colony
to
people.
ask another, riskier question. See, in the fandom for the movie, Steven's cost $6 million. That number gets thrown around a lot.
You stand up and you go.
And you're not
Yeah,
nervous. You're not done. 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
Where did all that? Well, it's definitely confirmed that Tommy has very knowledge of worry.
What's the matter?
Again, he bought his expensive things.
My mother caught him.
2 sets.
Caught you doing what?
Each of which required its own. I started because it wasn't sure he wanted just to restore damage to the stock and when
I was alone.
why not both exactly? Which required the
She caught you?
I stopped by the house to drop the car off, and I went inside for a few minutes. Nobody was there. They're supposed to be working. My mother had a glamour magazine. I started.
Tommy built sets when he could have filmed it in a real apartment, including putting in one for a working toilet, only if he was allowed to use it, never used it. He fired the whole crew and brought on new ones anywhere from 2 to 4 times, depending on the US, and extended the production weeks longer than it was planned, requiring him to recast one character whose actor had a strange title. He brought in a different guy who looked absolutely nothing like him, which is why that guy Steven appears all of a sudden in the final. When Steven first appeared, I loved to shout, "Who the fuck are you?" Because everyone in the movie is acting like
It was like the Jack stories.
Yeah.
Almost quit
but we,
before
the
they
audience,
said
have
it.
never seen the narration before and
But
never get an explanation for where
To
it
my
started.
unbelievable
Anyway,
surprise, they came back
despite
to
all these ridiculous
I
choices,
said,
I'm still not
this, and they gave us like these 3 tiny
I'm
little things to say words out.
Yeah, for a ball man, his ability to create
back to
that is
2000
incredible. But I can't
No, at first
say anything.
Well, I'm so, oblivious in life in many ways, and
No,
naive in
specifically
many ways, that when he pitched me the story,
even with
I
all
thought,
of
yeah,
Tommy's
that sounds like a funny one. And he looks at me like, really, you want to do that? And I go, yeah, that's a funny story. I would never realize.
having
This was
asked Tommy
yeah, I mean, I figured
My next
do it very subtly.
in English, this
It is
how much
weird.
did the
It's
room really
stupid
cost
that
to
I've never realized
People in the media have been saying
this was a big thing we were getting away with.
Correct? I asked
To that one. The time was also.
how much
She's in the contest.
Right.
And she doesn't win. That was huge.
Right. One of my favorite line readings of the series is him. Not every day.
It's easier for a woman not to do it than a man. We have to do it. It's part of our lifestyle. It's like shaving.
I shave my leg.
Not every day.
some food in the throat. It was so perfect.
Gosh, I don't remember so many things, so I can't wait to see another clip.
Let's go do some actual detective work.
Okay.
Want to go get something to eat?
Uncle Stanley and Aunt Catherine probably the Reddit user
You go to one of those cappuccino places, they let you just sit there.
has discovered obituaries for a couple named Stanley who lived in Chalmette, Louisiana, were about the right age.
Just sit there.
If
Did you have another scene in that show?
Was that scene, and then there was a
their
little
surname was
like tag bit with Kevin Dunn, and there was a tiny scene with Kevin Dunn singing.
and that scene looks as mature as any scenes we did 7 years later. There's a casual there, it accentuates the relationship beautifully. It says right away they've been around each other so long they know each other through and through. And Stanley's obituary lists lots of
I was really nervous because it was the
none of
first
whom go by
scene
a
in
name
front of the
that could be
audience.
a variation
I loved the scene, so I didn't want to screw it up.
But there were to be a lot of
Also, trying to look really relaxed, really nervous. It's hard to do, and I was really focused on that Eminem.
in the small,
Pull
obscure
myself
town.
down.
I can see when I watched that coffee shop scene in the pilot.
I'd say that these people
see how
probably
nervous
were
I
the
was.
Uncle Stanley.
We don't know what the hell we're doing.
Catherine is,
you know,
similar
But
enough.
wasn't it fantastic that you get to have time to relax and to get to know the people, and then you do scenes?
Yeah, you mean 9 years? Is that?
That's great.
Well, the other thing was,
But then,
you wrote the guys that
Tommy
we
headed
all
off
knew.
to San Francisco to
Right.
seek his
The great
fortune.
thing was how the
Throwing
writers
him
and the actors
us
affect
into
each
the
other.
most
You write them based on how they act.
Tommy's paper trail drive
This would be a good line
for
for
a
her.
decade and a half. On his arrival in San Francisco in
Although, you were
1978,
saying this the other day, there was a definite separation between the cast and you would sort of go
there are
back and
records of
forth,
him
obviously.
actually
We didn't get to know.
Ask us about the writer. Like some of me call me up occasionally and go, hey, he was on staff at Seinfeld. Was he a good writer? I go,
I have no idea.
I never saw what he wrote or how much was his.
Yeah, they knew you better than you knew them. That's how it used to blow my mind. It was because it was two different spheres of humor. I would go in the office and there'd be that one kind of joke that was made, and then you'd go on the set, and it was some behavioral thing that people drink coffee like this, you know, and you'd make fun of that. It was great. It was wild. It was really fun to
It's like, who am I here?
visit both sides of the brain.
He danced back and forth between that very well.
Yeah.
his grave says his surname.
It had to be
This is the
overwhelming.
only person by
Because
the
you're
name
producing and writing and performing.
I got used to that. And plus, I'm not playing a character
The fact that he died
as
in
you were.
1999
So-
in California is strong circumstantial
But
evidence.
the right to get
IMDb.
I'd be standing by the camera, talking about the scene, and then I just walk across and just do it the same exact way. You know, just
Which is the same
just stand
birth
over
year
here, do it,
listed
stand
on
over there, and do it, same thing.
And fits with Greg's description of the So Drew Cassidy's probably the trail except for a recently discovered piece of the puzzle. The testimony from a man named Aaron, who claims to have worked at Street Fashions USA and was interviewed a few years ago on The big takeaways there are, well, first of all, that Street Fashions USA absolutely was a people actually did. But in terms of things we really didn't know before, his
And it was
employee
pain
Aaron
up until that night, but that night was fun. When they drove that place with people and you got to do your new
says that
jokes.
Tommy had another friend, a guy
I
named
thought we were going to announce
who
it.
allegedly also and allegedly
9
also
years.
died.
Well, we'll start out with 6 and then we'll make it.
Trying to make
See how we do.
I know what you're
Yeah, those were great times.
Eli supposedly was some sources say
My spare
I don't know
key in
if
your
this is
apartment, right?
or if Eli was it's also possible that both separately died. It was pretty hard hit by the other part is this guy Aaron's claim that Tommy had a brother who helped build the stock team against Street Fashions USA, which is a pretty big claim since it implied Tommy was selling I don't get that impression.
Yes, the Mary Bard epilepsy.
The other
Somebody came up to me recently and said it was there.
alongside Tommy was a woman named Chloe Lietsky, and she has enough of a hair. addition, she was definitely Yevsky, who died in 2012, was English as a second language at a community college where Tommy attended classes in a fruitless attempt to get rid of his accent. Sometimes Tommy claims he also knows
That's the guy.
according to Craig,
I've been
Tommy
going in like
clearly
12 years. I can't switch. I hurt his feelings.
she was probably the person who Tommy wished to call in. There are unfounded theories that
No, the Ford Life it was about.
doesn't make it.
Yeah, and it was ran by
But there's also a wealth of more plausible. Reddit user Brickyard Jack
Practically of every season. I know, it just makes me laugh so hard. Is those
uncovered
posters
legal
at the party every year.
Yeah.
Where it's nothing more fun. Nothing.
Apparently, the Lietzkis have
There's always
loaned
tension, at least for me
hundreds of
anyway.
thousands of dollars
Enormous
to
tension to keep to keep.
but Tommy had never paid
Because I
them
knew
back.
I was going to go and then
Brickyard Jimmy suggested that Tommy had
Yeah.
You never know what would come out of a mistake.
since when he released
Right.
it,
So that's why I always try to say
maybe
straight.
up to $6
Because
million.
something could come out of that.
Film.
You never know
He
that
spent
zone.
years
Something will go
renting out
wrong.
theaters
Bust stop
and
laughing, but I always thought.
We had that extraordinary scene in the parking garage.
And that was the one where Michael banged his whip on the box trying to get the.
This
I hurt myself, Blake.
And that and
he tried that. And he tried.
as rich as
He can't
Tommy
sit there. So he
was.
steps on the car and stands up outside the car for some inexplicable
According to the
reason.
property,
Looks around.
he also
Yeah.
said
As if I'm appealing to the gods. And then I got back into the car and started to get.
right as he was finishing,
That was amusing, wasn't it?
so maybe Tommy took the loan to Lietzky for bringing the property but spent it on his incorrectly assumed that his movie was just so good he'd make another one. Possible? Sure, maybe, and it kind of explains why Chloe Lietzky had a Tommy knows that the movies are the people who finance the film. So, looking around for names other than the producers, he hit upon missing people who had allowed
Fantastic starter sound this car makes.
Drew Caffrey for his help with his and Chloe Lietzky for the misappropriated for the past I have been persuaded
What was the ending?
Cars are supposed to drive off.
That was the end of it.
And this particular
an individual who I am quite
God,
confident
that's amazing.
That's a beautiful example of that out of mistake.
Yeah.
The other time I was doing a big with the pipe.
I know, man.
I reached in for the tobacco, and I went to stuff the pipe, and I had a piece of lint, so I'm struggling with the tobacco.
Well, I think it's out of date. I don't know.
I'll never be able to repeat that.
Light the beacon up, you got the Furby as a present, that is so 1999.
Particular
I'm sorry, but it's just so funny.
Not from the scene where you were to be.
knowing where my
I know.
knows someone
No, the only reason I'm doing this is because you took Audrey to the hospital.
if I ever get to pursue that may be the biggest bombshell I've ever heard. But we could find a smoking gun telling us everything we know so far about it. And still be no closer to where did his money come from? How did Tommy go selling toy birds and other cheap plastic junk on the San Francisco waterfront, owning prime San Francisco real estate, and being able to fund an entire movie out of
Widescreen. His face would be like on widescreen TV, an inch from your head. There's no way. What about the electrical
In
outlet? I love that
1996,
one.
Tommy was seriously injured in a two-vehicle car accident in which a tourist in a rental car ran a red light and slammed into his car. Tommy sued the rental car company and was awarded damages, though the example was back when Tommy was still claiming he was embraced the car accident magic bullet theory that cleared up every mystery. Supposedly, winning a lawsuit after the accident can explain his wealth, and his brain injuries sustained in the accident can explain his accent and eccentricity. None of this is right. I'll get into
Good, but do it quickly.
Strong evidence that Tommy
On the floor.
Widescreen, you can't take it.
Can't
Is it
take it.
Yeah,
possible
I always wish that
he
people
was
could see the show through my eyes. If you could see it as close as I saw it, it was
Tommy
much a better
Wiseau,
show.
after
I'm
sustaining
sorry
brain
I laughed
damage,
so much. I clearly ruined a lot of
not that
tapes.
easy. Legal documents from the aftermath
The ones that I always loved were the ones that we could never get away from.
Don't make
Where
any
all week
reference to
long,
Tommy
we just
having
couldn't get past that moment, and we knew.
said
I
to
have
have
no
made a
medical
full recovery.
evidence to back me up, but
It could be worse. It could
something
be
happened
Did he
during
get
the
rich off the
operation that
lawsuit?
staved
Maybe
off that
richer, but he was already
Something
rich.
beyond
There is
science.
evidence that Tommy owned high-value real
Something
estate in San
perhaps
Francisco as early as
from above.
1992. Possibly as early, when publicly accessible documents show that ownership of the large suite was transferred from Tommy Wiseau's individual to something called the Thomas which sounds kind of tax evasion. So
I have no
not only was
medical
Tommy rich before he died, he already knew how to stay rich and
That's true.
Unthing Tommy himself.
I have no medical evidence to back
When
me up.
disaster artists only mention his sparkling midlife crisis and lead into his first unsuccessful
We brought him back for that.
Greg claims to have taught
He was
some
one of the great
teachers who
quack
took classes
doctors.
during his period. Tommy even made a student film
Would go to this man
called
for
Robbery
anything
Doesn't
serious.
Pay,
He
which
was
Greg
just
describes
a
as just a guy walking around.
Yeah.
But he had a good voice.
He had a great voice.
He had a voice.
There's a
He
lot
made a
of
statement there. A lot of people will go
The mystery of his origins
voices.
is one of anyone's favorite
That's
enigmas.
right.
He
A
sounds
month
like
rarely
a
He
goes
does.
by
He sounds like a doctor.
He did sound like a doctor.
But he says idiotic things.
deleting their post when
George, what is it?
someone once claimed to be an ex-lover.
Will you marry me?
Why?
Change yourself, Greg.
We've all already
trying
seen
to
it.
say, and it is
We
no
don't
more.
want to.
Unfortunate.
More plausibly, I once saw his editor claiming that Tommy had relatives
Not that I want to keep talking
died
about
6
it. I
months
just think that the subject should resolve itself based on its own momentum.
heavily implied that Tommy
Yes, my lord.
as compelling as this sounds, since it is incredibly difficult to imagine.
I'm engaged to this woman. She doesn't even like her.
I don't believe First, this is a pretty big bombshell. It would clear up the biggest mystery surrounding it. So, if there was a paper trail that
mother saw that
pretty big
show.
behind, it would get more attention.
How could you kill that girl, Larry? What's the matter
Second,
with you?
the prospect of
Why did you kill her?
doesn't square with the rest.
Was it the killing or was it the
His
reaction
uncle
to the
Stanley
killing?
and
That's
Aunt
what I
Kathy
thought
played
was
Arkham
the antagonizing. That we were so kind of cold-blooded
Tommy definitely lived
in our response to that.
Right.
to have a relative back home.
Yeah, that was probably part of it. Let's get some coffee.
Yeah.
What's the reaction?
Yeah.
Years ago, when there were apparently another family member who could have received the call, probably would have been trusted to keep it better. Doesn't sound too realistic. Third, if you were rich and communist pulling around then, you would have to be a high-ranking member of the communists. There weren't a lot of corporate titans or media celebrities or anything floating around. All the economic power was either the government or the black market. If anyone at all in Tommy's family was a Polish government holder, Tommy wouldn't have had a very difficult childhood and
sorry,
would have been
George.
motivated to skip the
Building upon each other.
Yeah. Me
even if he
too.
had, his family and or the Polish government.
right.
By now, long after the fall of Polish communism,
When you get the news from Dr. Victor Rader Wexler, it takes some of the sting out of
It
it.
does.
Yeah.
Maybe even all of it.
Yeah.
somebody would have took him. And if he's
That is the beauty.
you're a Polish.
If I may say, of this medium.
No, I guess I
There
can
was
believe
really
that.
no
Actually,
time
considering everything else is all about the guy that
to get pressure.
genuinely might be
To just, we had to keep moving.
But then,
we got
the length of time cited,
if that was a
6
movie,
months before
just
Tommy started
pour
the
over that
Free
for
State Empire
months.
is
Right.
implausibly
That
precise.
sounds great.
Because you don't know when the story Your
I am not joking when I say the audience
transfer of
reaction. Every
ownership
time I saw
himself
it
and himself this was in 1996, but he may have owned that building for years before that, or it was recently discovered that the
You remember all the scuff marks
Into the
on
pit of
floor,
snakes,
don't
into
you?
I have to say, you can totally tell me I'm wrong at this point.
It
I'm
lists
so
his birth
disappointed.
date as October 3rd,
I can't believe I'm the weirdest boner for you and James.
birthplace,
Enjoy
Even the 360 turn looks like
and his birth name
I didn't even know you were going to do it till just now.
Yeah.
No, just go
You
into
just
it.
played the energy of I got to get in there.
Yeah, and it always plays for the character. I always felt it played into the psychology of the character too.
And also, I remember.
I don't know how that slide's gonna go. That's 360. I don't know.
That was you saw something you weren't supposed to see. And it looked like the emphasis was I should go. No, I'll sit
But also, Michael, when you were getting prepared to enter, especially couldn't go near you. There was a. Did you feel it? Yeah, there was a field around there, a force field, and we had to give you that space. That area where the behind the refrigerator there, in that little alleyway back there, just we had to steer clear. I really felt that.
Tommy's life is
I didn't know
so
you were being so
goddamn
cautious.
that it seems like the
We're being
explanation
respectful.
there's got to be something too weird to even consider.
I didn't like anybody in that area.
I'd give friends to Tommy.
That's right.
That's my hallway, my doorway. I live there.
Yeah.
In declining over that he is a monster. Did he work at that
He's the comedian.
Lafayette Connection? That he was just as ex-KCD tried to say. A different friend of mine brought that up, not knowing ex-KCD had already made that same joke. Unfortunately, we did papers all of them. There's a lot less than $100. Whoever that was, he definitely lost us. Or maybe Tommy truly is. According to Greg, once suggesting that his character played Elaine's father might be something, even though the role was otherwise
Remember that?
Well, wait a minute. Before you get to
He had
that,
plans for a second movie
after we wrapped
going to be
the
called
show, he went into the bathroom and shaved his head. Okay, so he shaved his head, he's come out of the bathroom now, and he's the worst.
Tommy Shore looks like a vampire, and according to his former employee Aaron, he never sees ever going through this man's dredging up distant events in an effort to find out his real backstory. I couldn't help being reminded
Against his arm, holding a handle underneath his hair.
Yeah.
We can see it. And Tonto here.
I loved it ever since I first met him.
Hey, Larry.
Yes. As your
His name is Lawrence.
The Great Gatsby is about the American, and about how no matter how rich you get, you can really become a member.
Brings the knife out like the psycho.
Tommy Wiseau is practically a real-life, turn-of-the-millennium Jay Gatsby. He's rich, he's successful, people love him, but he must go. He's certainly not like the other rich.
But I love you were fearless, sir. You just went.
Everybody wonders.
Whatever this becomes, it's material. So you gotta.
Whatever it's going to be, let's get it on. I mean, if we're going to start slashing, let's get to it. Let's get the rumble started.
Very different. One difference I think is that Tommy's living his best life.
We did that show.
Jerry and I were in the office
writing for the next day's read-through.
To
Saturday
this
night
day,
about 9
I catch him
o'clock.
every now and then attending midnight screenings.
The door opens.
Speaking in front of Rocky Horror style audiences. Throw plastic.
Everything.
Lawrence Tierney came to the office on Saturday night at 9 o'clock.
If The Great Gatsby was about how the American dream was unattainable, the life story of Tommy Wiseau may carry the moral that the American dream is still unattainable, but that doesn't matter when you're having fun. And you know what? Tommy's mysterious. I'm not sure I really want to know what. Yes, itching. But the itching is the fun part. He's not just a funny guy who made the best worst movie of all time. He's a funny guy who made the best worst movie of all time, and is an international fan. If somebody approached me claiming to have the whole truth on Tommy Wiseau, asking me if I'd like to hear it, I would tell them just to leave a stupid explanation.
You're supposed to buy me a meal.
It's a clear violation of your rights as a consumer. It's an infringement on your constitutional rights. It's outrageous, egregious, preposterous.
Come on, take the pen. I can't take it. Don't be a personal friend. No, I'm not take the pen. I cannot take it. Take the pen. Are you sure? Take the pen.